Good with it. It's Flacco, Real Talk with Flacco. I'm going to try to keep this simple with you guys, man. This is going to be the first generation of NF members when they were under the Padrino system. Here we go. Marcus Castaneda, Tarzan from Pomona. You already know, was recruited in 1969. He recently passed away in the feds in good standings in November of 2020. Long time and committed to the NF fully. John Little John Valdez de Little Valley was the first padre, which means he was the first ever leader of the NF. Gonzalo Chalo Hernandez de Bakersfield was a cousin to Cheyenne and was also influential within the NF. Here we go. We got Black Bob from Gilas and Death Row Joe from Chiques. Black Bob, man, was instrumental in the impeachment of Bobo and retaking the reins and restructuring the organization. Death Row Joe, they say, was the main culprit in the misappropriation of funds and a lot of bad calls. Here we go. Bruce Weddle Morgan de West Side LA Clanton. I don't know too much about this individual, man, but I do know he was a first generation NF member. Eventually suffered from drug addiction and just dropped out and just faded away. I believe he did inform and was one of the first ones to actually debrief. So who do we got next? Oh, Hector Mad Dog Padilla de Sanjo. Not only was he the one that was responsible for the boot incident, he also partook in the hit of Cheyenne. Juan Manzanas Colon de New York. He was one of the hitters that actually stabbed Cheyenne when Cheyenne was killed. Daniel Woodsy Reyes de Bakersfield. We already know he got into it over a punk with the MA in San Quentin, but he also was killed by Mundo and his boy back in 77 or 78. I forget the year. Frank Joker Mendoza, another individual responsible for the Cheyenne hit. Bumpers from San Bruta and Mati de San Bruta, both NF members from the 70s. Bumpers is still alive, kicking it, doing well. I do stay in contact with him from time to time. Much respect to the homeboy Bumpers. Tiny Contreras from Sanjo and Black Jazz from Salas. Tiny Contreras, as you know, was the individual that started to stab Cheyenne when he was thrown over the tier and stole his watch. Black Jess was deemed no good for being an informant and trying to forge a truce with the MA. Baba Sosa. He was the first ever general within the NF when they changed a whole new system with a new constitution. Freddie Wolf Gonzalez from San Diego, another longtime NF member as well. There we go. We got Crackers to the left, and then we got Chino from Stockton to the right, man. Crackers, long time, NF member before he branched off. Chino was the one that actually created Little Unity, or was responsible for creating Little Unity, as well as he helped out Fig and Hobo when they had to do that hit. Pollo and Marty, I do not know too much about these individuals at all. There we go. We got Mad Dog from Sanjo again as old timers, and David Batista from Bakersfield. Rest in peace, brother. He was there the day when they tried to kill Cheyenne, and he actually got shot in the process, but ended his life as a pastor doing the right things. Nuestra Familia from 1971 to 78. Man, there we go. There goes my homeboy Fig right there, man, as well as the homie Hobo. I know both of these individuals. I've talked to both these individuals. These dudes were real ones. They were also crimeys. Both came in with either 6 months or 2 years and ended up catching life sentences. Both did over 45 years in the system. That's Brown Bob, Veramontes, and Big Smiley. Brown Bob, a former OGB sitting member, was killed in 1999, as we already know, by Bad Boy and Dreamer Escamilla. Big Smiley, he was really got caught up in that D facility dilemmas. And that's a whole nother story. DC from Chino, one of the last living Southern Familianos, and James Goneo Perez de Sakura. Goneo's always been at the center of controversy. We're going to see how everything plays out with this indictment. And see, both these individuals are currently in wheelchairs, so they're not doing too good for their age. We'll see what happens. You got Indio Vindiola to the left and Crackers Vindiola. Indio was actually more responsible for starting the Bulldogs than Crackers was, but Crackers was a beast in his own way. The Vindiola family, all NF members, were very instrumental within the NF and were fucking dangerous. There goes Rabbit Lopez. He's the one that was the start of the impeachment of Babel. He's the one that filed that complaint. Prophet, I don't know too much about that individual. Mano Sosa, he passed away sometime in the 2000s. DC from Chino, we just discussed. And Tibbs from Sanho, he just passed away, man. Unfortunately, man, you know, two of these individuals passed away. Man, I think a lot of it had to do with depression with both these individuals. There goes James Tibbs Morado again. Joseph Pinky Hernandez de Rancho Cucamonga. Man, Pinky's been around for a minute. I think he was recruited in 1976 and actually caught his first murder in front of a CO named Louis Hogan. Tex Hernandez, you already know, man, the center of the conflict between him and Cuete. David Sunshine Lugo, former lieutenant within the NF. Leonard Mejia. Man, he was out there trying to act like he was still active out there, man. He's a character, man. Bubba from Salas, man, I worked under him. He was a regiment commander. Stigma from Sao, he was one of the very few familianos that kept his mouth shut when all the indictments happened. A lot of people flipped, but he kept it solid. He got a lot of time. Stork, man. I don't know what Stork's status is. I know he's out there on the Gaius right now, but he was recently beat up with some 2x4s, and they say he's not too sharp up there in the head right now. Huicho from Sajo, man, I caught a case over him. He was somewhat of a mentor. Lobo, as you already know, man, he was caught up in that whole MC issues. He elected to flip and lay it down. Corny, the legend. I mean, there's not much I can really add to about Corny's resume. One of the current generals in the feds, solid as ever. Skip, another brutal killer, man, with a business, pushes that federal agenda. You got Skip, Cuete, you got Pinky, all there together, all OGs, man. Those are some killers right there, man. Straight NF legends, living legends. Skip, man, in San Jose hasn't been the same since he's been out there, man. I think that was the last time that they were truly prospering for a minute, where people were scared and business was getting handled. There goes Skip once again. Yeah, I guess Skip likes to take pictures though, huh? And he likes his Manolo. We already know. There goes the young Skip. Look at how he's aged. He's aged pretty well, man. And Burp is keeping him trim. You know. There goes Boxer from Salas. Shouts out to Roque. And then there goes Chente from Salas, man. Chente is currently going through his little struggles as well, man. I don't know too much about it, but I think he's currently under investigation. Louis Dump Truck Chavez de Sanjo. You already know, man. This dude was really responsible for that whole 92, 93 indictment. He turned over the hit list immediately when he paroled to his pro officer. Carlitos from Sanjo, another person who I really respect. Was a mentor to me in my career. Spenkio de Sanjo, another individual, very humble, respectful, but with the business, man. He passed away recently. There's a lot of question marks as to how that happened. Suave Heredia. As you already know, he was the one that kind of gave that green light for that Raymond Sanchez guy to get hit. And then Larry Paquiamato, who at one time was a street light Asian coordinator out there, had all regiments report to him. Chuku from Sanjo. As we already know, he ascended to the SRG position within the state. Puppet from Sanjo. He's been a very instrumental supporter of Chuco. Ray Goose Garcia de Sanjo and Gerald Oso Winston. Oso, as you already know, he was informant off the gate with Operation Black Widow. Goose elected to flip. Dancing Mirror, there goes Rojo's best friend, man. Look at that guy. Man, I had to put him on the same thumbnail as Chico. Chico was my boy, though, man. He ended up flipping in 2002. Isidro Chilo Moreno, one of my sponsors, actually, man. He ended up being deported to Mexico and has never returned. Pablo Pena, Pantera, the one that got into a big smiley up in the bay. Pony Mares, he passed away. That was Skip's road dog. Blackie Enriquez, I haven't heard nothing by him for years. That's Corny top row white shirt in the middle when he was about 16 years old in DVI Tracy. That's a young killer right there. Sam Luna, aka Dragon de Sanjo, been down for a minute, man. As you can see, NF on his shoulder blades. There goes Mateo. I think Wines Perez. I think it looks like Cricket in there as well. Chilo, Carlitos, Skip. Those are all young pictures of these guys back in the days, man. You know, young Carlitos on the bottom. Who's that right there too, man? Look at Corny. Corny standing attention as a general. Look at the respect that he's given. Another picture of Corny. Look at the respect that man gets. He got all that file of foot soldiers behind him. There goes the homeboys out there in East Block back in the days, man. That's how it used to be. You used to be able to take pictures. There goes another picture, man. Wines Perez, Skip, and a couple others. Man, that's East Block right there. It's back probably around 1993. We used to be able to go out there and wear your red baños. There goes another picture of the homies, man. Fish de Salas, he got deemed no good in the feds and got hit. And then Lizard, you guys already know his story. Lencho, he's the general. There goes a picture of Lencho, man. That's the guy Lencho you guys have been hearing about, man. Happy from Lodi, Spider de Sacra, both about that action. There goes Corny and Spider, and there goes Wino, a Bulldog, and some other one. Okay, there goes the OGs right there, man. Look at it, Corny, Tibbs, and them, man. Posted up Cuete. Ain't that something? Beto from TC and Duck de San Fran. Beto's facing that big case out there in Modesto for that, I think that triple homicide. There goes a picture of Silent when he was young, as well as recently when he was in death row. Now here's some photos of other Norteños, Nuestra Raza, and NF members. This is some OGs back in the days. I think this picture was taken in Jamestown. I think this picture right here was taken in Chole. She's back then, they used to have the Mongolians. Used to represent. That's Junior Rojas on the right. Junior Rojas on the bottom right with a red paño. I've known him from way back in the days. There goes a squad of homeboys, man. You could just tell back then they used to be able to pump them weights. Look at that. That's 1985. That's Jamestown right there. Jamestown again. Look at how old school that shit is. They was out there representing though, man. Man, you already know Chico Rose to the left corner, Mikeo, and then man, look at that. That's Barrio Azteca, Texas MA, Texas Syndicate, and NF all together. Man, there goes the Garnales, Mikeo from Fresno and Jasper from Sakura. Look at Tommy McIntosh, man. He got Familia on his chest. The first and only black NF member I've ever met. There goes Young Buck. I got nothing really to say about him. Mondo from Delano on the left is Silent once again. Esteban, Trinidad's Sleepers. We already know it's a wrap with Esteban though. There goes the squad and the feds. I know a couple of those cats right there. Look at OG Tarzan. Just posted up. Man, look at the homeboys, fish to the air, fish to the air. They out there representing the struggle. The Familia, Tarzan de Pomona. Old school right there. It looks like Rodney Shelton to the left right there, huh? That's Macaron and Fig. Look at him. Macaron from Stockton and Fig. Spokio, man, the homie from Casitas. A little quick picture of him, man. He put in a lot of work. Man, you already know who that is. That's Tizok. Armando Frias. Lucky Shelton, man. He's a born-again Christian. He looks totally different, huh? It's like Lom Montoya and Rico from Salas. That's Ricardo London, the famous one who was in charge of the structure. Spider to the left and the homies from the feds right there. That's Lolo from Parler, a former NF member. That's Spankio from Salinas. He was the one that got shot a couple of years ago. Spankio once again. He's the one that got shot in the Fed state struggle. Anyways, man, thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe, man. This was kind of a little bit different trying to ad-lib over pictures, man. But I hope you guys have a good one. I'm out.